Very big Monday Night Football playoff game here on ABC. Remember when we used to have football every Monday night? Yeah. Remember when we used to have ballroom dancing every Monday night? I guess you win some, you lose some, you know? It was a marquee matchup tonight, Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We taped this show before they play the game, so by the time you're watching this, you'll already know if Tom Brady's divorce was worth it or not. It was a wild card weekend. The Giants won their first playoff game since they won the Super Bowl in 2012. They upset the Vikings in Minnesota. And while it was a tough game for Vikings fans, the team had a great season. And one fan in particular did something very nice. He took time to thank NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell as he exited the field.
Hey, Roger! Roger! You! You, Roger! Yeah! You know you're a bitch!
Well, I don't know what this was, but it wasn't neighborly. And there were some great games over the weekend. The Bengals recovered a fumble at the 2-yard line, ran it back 98 yards to beat the Ravens. Jaguars came back to beat the Chargers after being down 27 points. After that game, quarterback for the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, celebrated with a trip to the Waffle House. Yeah, and by the way, if you found a long blonde hair in your pancake Sunday morning, that's where it's from. Trevor, you just led your team to a shocking from behind victory in the wild card round. What are you going to do? I'm going to the Waffle House. Today, as you know, is a day on which we celebrate the legacy of a great American, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It is MLK Day. President Biden gave the keynote speech at an MLK Day breakfast in Washington this morning where his eggs got a little scrambled and the old Amtrak went a little off the rails.
Congratulations today, the honorees, including your wife, who I understand is birthday today? Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, you sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, Velvet was really actually very touched by whatever your name was. Joe Biden is the Finding Dory of presidents. And over the weekend, 5 more classified documents were found at his home in Delaware, along with 9,000 stolen packets of Sweet and Low. That brings the number of documents Biden had laying around up to around 24. And of course, even though he himself withheld more than 300 classified documents that he refused to return, Trump weighed in bigly on this. He wrote, "The White House just announced there are no logs or information of any kind on visitors to the Wilmington house and flimsy, unlocked, and unsecured, but now very famous garage." Maybe they're smarter than we think. This is one of seemingly many places where highly classified documents are stored, in a big pile on the damp floor. Mar-a-Lago is a highly secured facility with security cameras all over the place and watched over by staff and our great Secret Service. I have info on everyone. Sure. You had 300 top secret documents in your bra closet behind a ranch dressing fountain. Of course you have info on everyone. You had info on everyone except for when Kanye brought that white supremacist over for dinner. Then you had no info at all. But Republicans are outraged. They say they want Biden treated the same way they treated Trump, but they still don't want Trump treated the way they treated Trump. It's very complicated. The big question is, why are these documents even allowed out of the White House at all?
I like to drive. I used to think I was a pretty good driver.
You see, I mean, that's why you put the top up. What a mess. Oh, cheers and full-throated huzzahs are in order for Prince Harry, whose memoir just broke the Guinness record for fastest-selling nonfiction book of all time. The story of Prince Harold and his frozen yogurt slinger is so popular, they're now releasing a version for kids. I don't know if you know about this. It's a twist on The Princess and the Pea. It's called The Prince and the Penis, and it's By the way, if the kids are still up, this would be a good time to gather them around the TV because I have the honor of sharing a first read of the new book. And, well, here we go. The Prince and the Penis. At the chilly North Pole, a silly young codger took a walk in the snow and froze his wee todger. The skin was discolored, all purple and white. When Harry peered down, 'twas a terrible fright. Oh, mummy, he cried with a scream, and from then on up high she appeared with some cream. My poor little prince, put this cream on your willy. It will lessen the ache and make it less chilly. But, Mummy, did you not put this on your lips? Oh, yes, my dear boy, and also my nips. But do not delay, or your knob be destroyed. But, Mummy, have you heard about Sir Sigmund Freud? Mummy knelt down and gave him a squirt into the trousers where his winkles still hurt. And lo and behold, like the calm from a storm, his frozen cold snot stick was suddenly warm. He laughed and he smiled and he said to his mummy, "You rescued the snake that lives under my tummy." Then he tucked it back in and back to her cloud. His mother went soaring and said this aloud, "Should ever you have icy chills on your heart, just give it a rub with Elizabeth Arden." And everyone lived happily ever after in a castle next to Oprah's house. You know, less than 2 months after his divorce from Kim Kardashian, Kanye West has reportedly married a woman named Bianca Censori. She's Australian. She is the head of architecture for his Yeezy clothing brand. They're registered at Bed Bath & Beyond if you want to get them anything. And there are a lot of questions about this, like what the hell is this woman thinking? And why does a clothing brand with no stores need an architect? But we don't know. We do know they were married in a very small, very simple ceremony. I'm guessing they skipped the if anyone has any reason why these two should not be wed part. But, you know, Kanye's very religious now. He doesn't believe in having sex before marriage, so he meets one good-looking woman, immediately he has to get married. He can't contain himself. But anyway, on behalf of everyone in Hollywood, mazel tov to Bianca or Kanyanka or whatever they're going to be calling them from here on. We also have a new Miss Universe. Miss Universe is from Texas. Miss USA, Arbany Gabriel, was named Miss Universe over the weekend. I don't know if you watched this. It was on Roku, so I'm guessing not, but it was some pageant. They have a costume portion of the show. They put the women in outfits that are supposed to represent their native land, and they made up little rhymes to go along with them.
It's okay to brag when you've got a great flag like Paraguay.
We think it's dope to be a large telescope like Puerto Rico.
Don't you wish you were half fish like Brazil?
I didn't think it was possible to make the Miss Universe pageant dumber, but somehow they did it.
She preferred to be a recycled bird, Costa Rica. You don't need a sash to walk around dressed as cash like El Salvador. This resurgent lizard is a bit of a wizard, Cayman Islands.
Can you imagine you have this beautiful country, the Cayman Islands, you're watching your Miss Universe candidate on television, and the best thing to come up with is this lizard is a bit of a wizard? And they didn't do much better with us, by the way.
Pretty soon, she'll be on the moon, USA.
Wait, what? They're sending her to the moon? Not in that outfit, they aren't. I hate to say it, the Miss Universe pageant made more sense under Donald Trump. COVID's making a comeback. The Critics' Choice Awards, they had that last night. They were slightly less star-studded because several nominees got COVID at the Golden Globes last week. Among the stars who tested positive and were unable to attend, Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, Michelle Pfeiffer, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jean Smart from Hacks, which is the title of her show and also what she's doing right now. And I guess the silver lining is of getting COVID at the Globes is you'll have immunity for the Oscars. You have to time your viruses very strategically during award season. Fortunately, the new variants didn't affect our star-studded project. The Nextdoor app, I'm not sure if you use this, but this is an app I use which tells you which neighbors you should avoid at all costs. It's mostly somebody took a bucket off my porch, and stolen catalytic converters. But occasionally there are interesting storylines on Nextdoor. Recently, there was an ongoing back and forth about a lizard that climbed through a mail slot. And the story turned out to be so epic, we recruited some of the finest actors in Hollywood to dramatize these real exchanges between Nextdoor app users in an all-new edition of Nextdoor Theatre.
The following presentation is a dramatic reenactment of an actual discussion between real neighbors on the Nextdoor app. This is a true story.
Help! My roommate opened the mail slot and a rather large lizard dropped in. I picked it up onto the pooper scooper, but it jumped out before I could take it outside. Now it is missing in the house, maybe still in my roommate's bedroom, but she is so freaked out. Any ideas?
Don't kill it. They're beneficial. They eat insects.
I have no plans to kill it, but my roommate does not want to sleep with it. The idea of it running across her face while asleep scares her.
Sandy, lizards are way smarter than that. Just tell your roomie that the lizard is good luck.
They like dry cat food. Maybe lure it out of the bedroom with that. And some water in a saucer.
I love lizards. I used to have one and wear it on my shoulder when I went to the store.
If it's an alligator lizard, it can bite down pretty hard on your finger if you try to pick it up. I caught a big one once by dangling a piece of steak in front of it. It didn't want to let go, so I got to walk around my lizard on a string for quite a while.
Well, anything will bite you if you put your finger in its mouth.
It can't even leave a mark if it tried to bite you with its teensy mouth instead of rough sandpaper teeth.
Tell your roommate that those types of lizards like to crawl into warm beds during the night.
Gary, that's mean. Gary, mean. LOL.
Open the door and walk around banging the floor with a broomstick. Like that.
You're not gonna like this. You probably will not see it again until you smell it first. Sorry.
I had a lizard come hang with me. It was one of the most amazing things in my life.
Lizards love to be talked to in a tender voice. They are so loving. I'm so happy you had a great experience with a lizard.
Yes, they are the sweetest little people. I am so grateful she trusted us the way she did.
They are precious little beings. Shut up!
You want me to come capture it?
Thanks to all. We can totally catch him and take him outside, but can't find him. I suppose he will show up sooner or later. We would just like it to be sooner.
Thank you. Thank you, stars. Who says theater is dead?